All right, good morning, top performers. That before class started, that we had some, just to get some amazing things that are now starting to happen to you, and out of the blue, you are getting some just wonderful things happening in your life. More clients, the best physical therapist you've ever had. I mean, just things in every aspect of your life is going to start getting better and better now. And you're starting to recognize what a magnificent creator you are. And so just know that this is just going to get better and better for you. Before we begin, do any of you have any questions about Success Unit 1, Living in the Green Zone, and or the Joy Shop? No questions about it? Okay, good. Say, while we're looking at the Joy Shop, so it's critical for you create your life, and I've given you the tool now in order to create the life that you want, and that tool is the Joy Shop. And so I'd like you to write down, and so if you have a pad of paper, please write down this, and we're going to be writing other things down today. And the first thing is in the Joy Shop, just to review how that goes, that what you want to do is you want to read the attachment that I gave you. Now, if you read any sentences in there, any thoughts in there that you say, oh, that isn't true, or that's a little hokey, or, you know, if you have something like that, or I don't believe that, take it out and then reprint it, because the whole intention of that is for you to feel good and just to be surrounding yourself with thoughts that feel good. What that does is that raises your vibration to your source, to God, because God feels good. God is good. There's only good flowing to you. But with our thoughts, we've been given the power to be able to either think about what we don't want or think about what we do want. And so by thinking about what we do want and these good feeling thoughts, that's the same way that God thinks about those subjects of yours. And so we have this beautiful, perfect communication system within us that communicates on if I'm thinking about what I don't want, I feel bad. If I'm thinking what I do want and aligning with the same way God thinks about that subject, I feel good. So by reading that Joy Shop, it's a great way, a shortcut, if you will. It's the fast track in order to get that vibration up so you can attract then other wonderful ideas about things that you're going to start writing down. So the next thing I want you to write down is, so in the Joy Shop, you read the Joy Shop. Number one, read the Joy Shop. Number two, you write out your desires. So that is, wow, I want to feel good all day long. I'd like to have some referrals today, or I enjoy, and here's a little secret about on if you say something like, for example, if you say, yeah, I'm going to get 3 referrals today, and you're saying to yourself, there's no way in heck you're doing it, well, that doesn't make you feel good. So what you want to do, and I'm going to put you guys on mute here because let's see, where is that? Do you guys know where that is for mute? Let's see, somewhere. People can hear you. Click to mute yourself. Well, I don't know, but hopefully, I don't know. Where is it?
I do it for myself because my dog will bark every now and then, and
Yeah.
all I do is click on the next to my name on the green microphone. If you click on it, a
Oh,
little
okay.
box comes up and it says mute me. So everybody can do that if you have background noise.
Oh, okay. So everybody else can do that. Okay, yeah. So if you do have background noise, if you guys could hit mute on that, so that we make sure we don't have any distractions, because I want you to really be focused on this. So we're back to the Joy Shop, and we read the Joy Shop, and then we start writing out our desires. When I get too specific on some of my desires, I'm kind of getting into God's business on the how. And so like if I say, oh, I'm going to get 3 referrals today, then what you want to do is get more general. And so instead of that, just say that, you know, I know today that my business is going to get bigger and better. And so it's a great way to manage yourself, and all you have to do is look at your feelings. So go within and just, how do I feel about that? But you want to write down your desires. So the next thing I want you to write down, so again, Joy Shop, number 1, read the Joy Shop to feel good. Number 2, write out your desires. And then they can be the same desires from yesterday, because you want to continue to focus on those desires, or it could be new desires. And again, start general and then get more and more specific as time goes, as the days go on, if you will. And the second thing that we're going to add now to the Joy Shop is I want you to write down what you appreciate in the past 24 hours. Now, for right now, you can say what you appreciate even in your life. I appreciate I have children. I appreciate my good health. Whatever is going on that you appreciate, that you can write. But it's critical to start writing down what you appreciate. Can you guys mute that? I need all that noise in the background. I need it muted. You need to hit the green little right there, that green thing. And so to appreciate what has happened to you in the last 24 hours. God is working on your behalf all the time, but we typically don't recognize it because we're too focused in on our troubling thoughts. So I want you to think about on that I need to write down in the last 24 hours on what that is that has been good for me. So for example, that we had Julie on the phone and earlier before we started, and Julie said, wow, just an amazing thing happened to me, that I got the best physical therapist that I've ever had. And that there, you would write that down, because by writing down and recognizing God at work for you, that you're going to start seeing more of good things happening to you. So you'll see more good therapists, you'll see more good, and then all similar things around that. So more uplifting people, more harmonious people. So it's going to be really fun for you to start writing down in the last 24 hours the things you appreciate. And then the third thing is you prepave your day and you say how I want it. So this morning, did you prepave? Wow, I'm going to be with Dr. Hank today, and I'm going to just be enlightened. I'm going to be just love this. It's going to help me to have the type of life that I've always wanted. If you didn't, what happens is we're back in the red zone, and you'll get like this time together will be by default, and you might have a good time, you might not. But if you call it that, you say, yes, I'm going to be focused. We gotta knock off all that noise. Let's see. I wonder how I can do that. Somebody needs to do your green mic, because there's all kinds of noise. So whoever is making all the noise in the background, hit that green little mic. I have it there on the green mic. You got to hit that. If I hit mine, that it goes. It mutes me. And then I'd be talking to myself. Okay, so great. That's super. That's nice and quiet. Thank you. And so it is just powerful for us to recognize that, wow, we can prepave it. See, I prepaved this morning, and I did my Joy Shop. And then this morning I shared that all of you would be enlightened, and all of you would be just thrilled over what is happening, and you'll be uplifted, and you'll really enjoy what you're doing. And so all of that is doing it. And I got we're going to have to stop here. And Elaine, is Elaine on the phone? I don't think so. Christy, you're muted. Michelle, are you muted? Stacy, Julie, Christian, Susie? Yeah. Somebody needs to mute, because there's all kinds of noise here. And And so it's very disruptive for everybody. So if you guys can please mute, thank you. I know, okay, Julie and Michelle are muted. Let's see, and then I'm not sure who else got on, but it's quiet again. Good. Okay, so that's about the Joy Shop, and it's just great. The Joy Shop is that that so I'm here in order to help you to just become your greatest possibility. And today you're going to love this session. This session is going to rock, and this session is about understanding yourself and others. And so this whole, most of this session is going to really help you understand yourself and others. You're going to understand the 4 behaviors as well as the 6 motivations of you being energy beings, and that's in essence what we are. We are energy. We are made from energy and the loving God energy from our source. And you're going to also learn about your motivations and what motivates you. And so our agenda today is going to be to review the 4 behaviors, and you're gonna I'm gonna want you to write this down when we get to the next page here on the 4 behaviors, and we're going to look at the 4 behaviors, what behavior they are, and you're going to be able to, within about 30 seconds, start recognizing what behavior other people are, and then secondly, to modify your behavior in order to make that to more effectively communicate with other people. So it's going to be really exciting, and it's going to be very helpful to you. And we have got to, could everybody please go on mute? You have to go on mute. There's too much background. I wonder how I can do mute. Hey, let me know if I do this. Let me know if you guys could still. I don't think you guys could hear me, could you? On that, and so let's see. Well, okay, so hopefully, please everybody mute yourself. And so we're going to be looking at that. That's going to be fun. We're going to be looking at the 6 motivations, and we're going to just briefly go through that. But I'm going to send you an MP3 about the behaviors, and about this is going to be Success Unit 2, Understanding Yourself and Others, as well about the motivations. We're also going to review your high payoff. Stacy, can you hear me? Christy says no. Okay. That we're going to also look at high payoff activities. So that was in Success Unit 1. We talked about high payoff activities, and I'm going to share with you what I think probably are the most effective ways that activities that you can do in your business life, because we have low payoff activities and we have high payoff activities. And by you identifying and starting to track on your 1 to 31 tracking sheet that I gave you last week, your high payoff activities, that you'll start moving into doing more things that are high payoff for you, both in your professionally and in your personal life, and you'll do less of the low payoff activities. And so what will happen is you'll become more productive, that you're going to actually be able to have all the time that you want. You're going to be able to have plenty of time. The only reason why we don't have plenty of time is because we aren't focused on our high payoff activities. And then finally, we'll have ideal referral partnerships. And this is the key, that I'm going to talk to you about referral partners, and you're going to be given a success assignment in order to identify people that will give you referrals into your ideal clients. And so it's going to be an exciting time, and we're off and running. And so let me see here. I need to... Okay, so what I'd like you to do is get out a clean sheet of paper and put a plus mark in the middle of the paper. So at the top, so put a plus mark about, if you have an 8.5 by 11, do about maybe a 4-inch plus mark. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at the 4 behaviors of mankind. And so the 4 behaviors up in the north section here, and where I'm pointing right there, you can put a D. And then in this area, okay, where my pointer is, put an I. And in this area, put an S. And in this area, put a C. So D-I-S-C. And so you will find that this is called DISC, and the 4 DISC behavior profiles. So I want you to look at this as, wow, I have 4 DISC behaviors there are 4 behaviors of mankind, and within 30 seconds I'll be able to recognize the behavior and then modify my behavior so that I can more effectively communicate with people. And if you can more effectively communicate with people, you're going to be more effective in what you're doing. And so let's take a look at that. So the first thing is the D, okay? And with the D is for driver dominant. So there's 4 different behaviors of mankind. One of them is the D. And these people a D is driver, and they're very dominant. And these people like to do a lot of controlling, and they do a lot of telling, and that is more, they just get right to the point. So when I share this with you, that can any of you think of any D's that you know in your life, in your experience, that you may be married or have a boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever with the D, that they're just right to the point. And so these drivers, they're very dominant. They like to control, and this will help. We've been told not to judge others. And in fact, what you want to do is you want to allow others to be who they are. And by understanding these 4 behavior styles, you're going to start understanding on the type of behaviors that there are, and then how you can modify your behavior to more effectively communicate with these people. And so we are all real high one behavior style, pretty high another behavior style, and then typically 2 behavior styles we're not at all high in, okay, and it's not our predominant behavior. So what you want to do is you want to just be aware of when you meet a person, you want to be thinking, what behavior style are they, and how do I modify my behavior style? So these people under D, the driver, dominant, real controlling, you might have called them a B, as in boy. And but the fact is, that's just who they are. They're real direct. They're not going to be warm and fuzzy. And so thus, you can understand now on that, wow, this is a D. Now, and that's all they are. You don't have to judge them anymore and say, oh, they're not warm and fuzzy, or oh, they're so tough, or whatever, or oh, they're so controlling. This is just how they are. So you want to allow them and accept them for who they are. And so with the D, that all of the behavior styles, each behavior style brings some really fantastic things to life and to their talents and what they have. And with this D, what they're good at is they're good at decision making. So which means if you're talking to a buyer, you have to be, that's a D, you have to be quick. And talking with them, you need to basically get to the point. Not a lot of, say, hey, how are you? And they say, fine. And then you just get right to the point on, hey, here's the house. Here's how much it is. And you got to give it your best shot, because they're going to make a decision quickly. So all of you have experienced people that are Ds where, oh, yeah, they make, a decision really quickly. Now, for you to also know, 18% of the populations are primarily their highest behavior style are Ds. So again, about 1 out of 5 people, okay, are Ds. And so you want to recognize that, wow, I'm going to run into, when I'm talking and helping and serving other people in, whether in business or in my personal life, that I need to recognize about 1 out of 5 people are going to be these real dominant behavior styles, and they're going to be real controlling. And so the question then is, how do I need to be with them And what you need to be, and again, I would suggest you write this down so you incorporate this and it just becomes second nature for you, that you'll be able to recognize people within 30 seconds and then modify your behavior. And with the D, you modify your behavior by being efficient. So you want to get right to the point with the D. And again, you can, be kind about it, but it's again, if they ask you, hey, how's it going? And you say, oh man, you wouldn't believe, yesterday this happened. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed today, and they don't want to hear any of that stuff. And so with the D, you want to be efficient. And again, if you have any questions as we're going through this, let me know. But you will start seeing that you will have more effective communication as you stop your judgment about people and instead allow them to be who they are. The second behavior style is the I. So we're going to do D-I-S-C. And the second one is the I. And the I is for influencer. These people are very outgoing. They do a lot of talking. And so, like I would say, Stacy and Julie and Susie can all relate to that you guys have a lot of I, and Michelle, you have a lot of I. And so, and again, it's all beautiful. It's who you are. You were born, however you were born, this is how you were born to be. So you want to love yourself for who you are. So with the I, they're an influencer. They're very outgoing, and they tell stories. They love to talk. And so, if you're in a hurry and you're going down the hall and you see an I coming to you, you want to make a quick right. Because otherwise they're going to talk to you a lot, okay? And eyes are just wonderful. People, they're all wonderful. But eyes are just so outgoing, and they do a lot of telling, and it's just, wonderful. And what are they good at? Remember, we talked about the D. The D is a good decision maker. Well, the I is excellent at influencing people. And so the I can influence people very effectively. Now, understand, we're all for behavior styles. We have it all. We have the capacity to be it. But our natural self, we're real high one behavior style and then pretty high another, and two we aren't. And so if you're not high in an I, that's fine. But know that the natural talent of an I is that they are very good at influencing people. Why? Because they're great at talking. They're very outgoing. They're very friendly. And so I want you to think, any of you know any I's in your life? Besides probably yourself. And so about half of you are, I's. And then what's the population? 28% of the population are influencers. So you can kind of, in general terms, say, wow, about a third of the people are I's. And so 28% of the people. So when you're out there meeting new people, talking on the phone, you'll be able to identify, even in email, you'll be able to identify if they're long-winded and saying a lot of stuff. Oh, they're an I. So how do you want to be? You want to be very stimulating. And so what does that mean? That means that if I come up to, so for example, Stacy is an IS. And so with Stacy, that I wouldn't go up to Stacy and say, hey, Stacy, how you doing? I'd bump it up a little and I'd go, hey, Stacy, how you doing? Now, at the same time, I don't want to fake it. Okay, I don't want to go, hey, Stacy, how you doing? Because if you fake it, then you're faking it, and that's no good. But you want to honor other people and recognize them for who they are. So when they're an I, you want to be more stimulating. And then we go to, and then know that the D and the I are typically more extroverted. So you can put a line between the D and the I and say, yeah, those people, they're typically more extroverted, that they're very outgoing. D's and I's are very outgoing. And I'm telling you, you're going to be able to connect with people more effectively, whether it's on the phone, whether it's in person, on email, any type of communication, that you'll be able to, as you start becoming aware that there are 4 behavior styles. In fact, in 300 BC's, Hippocrates identified there were these 4 behavior styles, but everybody was farmers and pretty much they didn't care. But now it's all about, your business is all about relationships, and this information is going to help you become magical and be able to build deep and meaningful relationships where people trust you, where you have effective communication with them. The third behavior style is the S, and the S is for steady. And these people are don't rock the boat. Everything is okay. They're very steady. They're easy. They're a very good team player, wonderful team player, and they don't like rocking the boat. That this buyer, so when we go to the D is going to make a quick decision. Okay, so if you're talking to a prospect or a client, the D, you need to be very efficient, and you need to make sure that they are, that as you're efficient with them, that they are understanding that you need to get, right to the point with them. With the I, you want to be very outgoing, and you want to be very stimulating, and you want to, importantly, let them do most of the talking. Okay? Now, with the S is a steady. They're a team player, and they're going to be your toughest client. The reason why is they don't like much change. So because they don't like too much change, that what they do is they say, hey, I don't want a lot of change, so they're not going to make a decision. They're going to take a long time to make a decision. And how many of you have heard about the long time that they take to make a decision, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that this person is, not making this decision, and I've shown them 12 homes, and it's just like, wow, they just can't make a decision. Well, when you recognize that they're an S, that you say, oh, how cool. These people need a lot of little action steps to move their boat. They're kind of like a ship. You can't just turn a ship real quickly. So what you do is you just slowly start turning their ship, but you do that because you can't, you want to close them in the next week or right away that day or whatever. So you give them little action steps. So and you get real clear on what do you want. And then once you understand what the type of home they're looking for or how they want to sell their home or whatever, once you understand that, then you want to touch base with them a lot. And you want to touch them so that they'll be able to trust you, so that they'll be able to make a decision. So it's kind of like you're at A going to B. And could everybody please mute yourself? We got somebody that just is not muting themselves, and so back to the S. So the S is very challenging, and that you're going to start seeing that they're at a very even pace. So S's are necessary in this world because the D and the I, they're way out there. They're saying, hey, let's do this, let's do that. The D making quick decisions, the I talking a lot, and they actually would rock the boat and it would tip over. So it's good that we have the S because they give some sanity, if you will. They make things a little bit more even pace. And however, that you should know 40% of the population are S's. So you're dealing with almost half the population that isn't going to make a quick decision, but you want them to make a quick decision. Now that you recognize that they're an S, that you'll start saying, oh, I see, they're just an S. I'm going to need to touch them many times and get them comfortable and make them, it takes them a while to trust. And so you want to be able to trust them and do, kind little things, get back to them quickly, that touch base with them when, a buyer comes or whatever the situation is. But you want to get them to trust you. And that's going to take some time. And again, because of time, you want to do that in a short period of time. You're going to need a lot of touches. So how do I need to be with an S? I need to be agreeable. So how many times have they said, oh, well, I don't like this house because of this. And you go, oh, no, this house has everything you want other than it doesn't have a pool or whatever, okay? When you say the word, all of us have a curtain that we either draw down or we raise up to increase our communication or to shut down our communication. And so now you can recognize that you have actually shut down some people, studies, 40% of the population, when you said no to them or when you weren't agreeable with them. So the way to do that is when you speak with an S, that you want to say, don't say the word no, don't say the word but. Okay, so like, for example, if you say something to me and I say, oh, that's a great idea, but, well, that erases that's a great idea and everything you said. So the word you want to use with them is the word and. And this will start capturing 40% of the market that you have been challenged with before, as with your real estate buyers, sellers, that you've been challenged before, that you're now going to start aligning with them. So if they say, well, I don't like this home because it doesn't have a pool, and you say, oh, I realize that and I understand this, and you use the word and have you considered what a good neighborhood this is and what a good school district this is, et cetera. So you would say the and that way they just more easily listen to you and they start trusting you. So really critical out of all four of these behavior styles, the S is the behavior style for you to focus on and to recognize that, wow, 40% of these 40% of the population are these S's, and they're they're the most challenging ones, but now they're going to be easy ones for you because now you recognize, oh, they're just an S. I'm going to be agreeable, and I'm going to touch them often, and I'm going to build the trust in them. If you're a DI, you can't go up to them and say, hey, I'm the best ever real estate agent, and you're just going to love this. They're not going to embrace that, and that's too brash for them. That they're going to push away from that. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're real nice, that you have an even pace with them, and that you aren't a D saying, come on, I want you to make a decision real quick, or an I saying, come on, we can do this really quick, and that they want to just take it easy. And so you want to slow it down, and you want to quiet it down, and you want to help them to feel comfortable with you. And you can tell just on how I have changed the way that I'm presenting right now in an S fashion. And for those of you that think of any S's that actually all of you have a strong S in you, other than Susie, that everybody else has a strong S in you. The good news about that is if you have S in you, you can relate to an S, right? So it is very easy for you to relate because you're an S. And so now think about, oh, this is an S. At the same time, if you're talking with the D and an I, you need to modify and kick it up a little, okay? So valuable information. And then our next one is the I and the S, by the way, they're very concerned with relationships. So when you're with the I and the S, they're concerned about the relationship. And notice that you got 40% and 28%, 68% of the population are more concerned with the relationships versus the tasks. So you're going to find some people that are more concerned with the tasks and let's just get it done, and that you're going to think that's a little foreign to you and you feel uncomfortable, but you just need to realize that they're actually a D or a C, which we're going to get to in a minute here. So the final behavior style is a C, and the C is for conscientious or compliant. And so again, C, conscientious, compliant, that they're all about facts and data. And so think about facts and data, and that they're the ones that are saying to you, well, how many feet away is the fire hydrant from the house? You know, and you're thinking like, I don't know, and I don't care. Okay? But the fact is, C's are very involved in that. And hey, Christian, could you please mute yourself, that little mic, that green mic there? If you could mute yourself, please.
Oh, certainly.
Thanks. And so that C, conscientious and compliant, that is, they're about facts and data. They're also about rules and regulations. So a high C says, and in fact, it's kind of funny because Christian, who I just talked to and asked to mute, that when I asked him, could you please, turn it off? He said, oh, certainly, because he actually is a real high C. And so he's going to go by the rules and the regulations. Now, a D might say, no, I don't want to. I might want to say something or whatever, okay? But so a C, a real high C says rules and regulations are made to be followed. A medium C says rules and regulations are nice guidelines. And a low C says rules and regulations are meant to be broken. So you can see the varying amounts depending if you're a high C or a low C on the variable there, that you can either abide completely by it or completely break it. And so again, you need to, by understanding, wow, there are C's that are all about the rule, and they want to see all the contracts, and they want to go through every page, and at closing, they're reading every page. Well, you, instead of judging them and saying, man, what's their problem? Or what, you go, oh, I see now. They're a C. So I get this now. How wonderful. So, so this has lightened you up and helped you recognize on some people that you've been dealing with, that you've had some challenges with, that now you'll be able to easily work with them. Only 14% of the population are high C's. Their highest behavior style is a C. And so that's one of the reasons why, like the fuddy-duddy accountant in the corner, that people don't relate to very well. And the reason why is because we're not like that. Most people aren't like that. 86% of the population can't relate to that. But you now, when you are working with a C, then you'll recognize, oh my gosh, they're just a C. They want all this data. They want the information. They want the rules and the regulations. They want to read all of it. And so now you understand, and instead of upsetting yourself, because remember, the most important thing you can ever do is to feel good. And that if you don't feel good, that you're not going to be vibrating high, and you're going to resist your desires from coming to you. So you don't want to feel bad, and no person or circumstance can make you feel bad unless you allow them to. And so one of the ways, in order to better understand people, better communicate with people, is to understand that people just have these 4 behavior styles. It's D-I-S-C, and with the D, I'd be efficient. With the I, I'd be stimulating. With the S, I'd be agreeable. And then with the C, well, how do I want to be with them? I want to be accurate. So if a C comes up to you and says, hey, how many feet is the fire hydrant? You say, oh, about 100 feet. They're not going to accept that. They're not going to accept you and respect you as much. And so if you don't know the answer, they're going to really respect you when you say, I don't know the answer to that, but I'll find out for you. And so it's an awesome way in order for you to start understanding on how to communicate with people more effectively and understanding people and to understand yourself. Note that the C and the S, that these people are typically more introverted. So they're more introverted, where notice the D and the I are more extroverted. And then finally, notice that the C and the D are more concerned with tasks. So I was working with a IBM executive, a lady, and when I showed her this, and I was right at this point, she started to cry. And I said, listen, this stuff is really good, but it's not that good. You know, you don't have to cry about it. And she goes, no, I finally understand. I've been married to my husband for 13 years, and I finally understand that I'll never make him warm and fuzzy. I have been thinking that, oh, he's just on an ego trip, he's trying to be a male chauvinist, whatever. And she recognized that she was an IS, and so she is real concerned with relationships, whereas he was a CD, and he was more concerned with tasks. So I asked her, give me an example on how does this work with, you know, an IS versus a CD and, you know, with your husband that, and she goes, sure, I'll give you an example. We were going on vacation. And so I'm concerned with, you know, she's saying being an IS, concerned with relationship. She's concerned with, oh, who's coming, and are the kids' friends coming, and are the in-laws coming, and all the people coming. When she goes to her husband, the CD, concerned with tasks, he's concerned about, hey, when are we going? How are we getting there? Where are we staying? And where are we getting back? When are we getting back? And it's like, oh my God, she's going like, I can't believe, you know, that you're so cold-hearted about this. You know, what about all the people? Well, the fact is, he's not cold-hearted. It's just that he's a CD and he's more concerned with tasks. For most of you, your ISs, SIs, which matches the population, so that's good that you can more easily, you know, relate to the population, the people that you know you're going to meet, and that you can see that, oh, now you're more typically, most of you are more concerned with relationships than the task. However, when you are with someone, working with someone that's concerned with the task, now you understand this isn't about them being, you know, mean or not caring about other people or anything else. This is just who they are. They are a CD. And then the key to it, again, what we already reviewed is the following. Now, what I want to do is, so any questions about that? The DISC? That you can either unmute yourself and ask questions or, you know, text me any questions there. But that's the DISC. And I'm telling you, it has just helped. I've helped thousands of people with this where they just love it, and they recognize on how much better that they have with their relationships, with, you know, significant others, children, whatever, in-laws, whatever that may be. I have a great one. My father-in-law, he's a DC, and so he's only concerned with tasks, where my wife is an IS, Sharon, and she's only concerned with relationships. So she thinks he's just terrible. And then I showed her, you know, because he's just about the task. He doesn't say, like, how are you, and how's everything going, and how's Hank doing? You know, he never does any of that. He's just concerned with whatever task. Hey, you know, we're going to have Thanksgiving dinner, you know, 1 o'clock, whatever. And now she recognizes, oh, I see. I can allow my dad to be who he is, and this will help you to stop judging other people and to start honoring other people and understanding who they are. So with that, I'm going to want us to get into your profile. So what I would, if you can, what I would suggest you do is go to your own profile. And so I sent you your results of your sales behavior profile as well as your motivational profile. It's just on one attachment. So if you can find that right now, and again, each one of you, it was sent to you, and so you should have that. This is a long document, and it is all about you. And you will be amazed at the results and how accurately it depicts you. What I'd like you to do is, if you'll notice on the page that I have, so what this is here is, so the front page is Behaviors and Motivators, the sales version, okay? And then I'd like you to go to the, it says the fourth page in, and if you have a hard copy of it, that it actually is on page, and you'll see on page 3 there. So what I'd like you to do is read page 3 and 4. And so this is just a great overview on who you are, your sales characteristics. So this is specific to sales. I can do it for, like, if you have a spouse that wants to do this, we can, make arrangements to have them fill this out. But it would be more on who they are, not the sales perspective. This comes from the sales angle of it. So what I'd like you to do is take a minute to read this. Does everybody have this? And is everybody at this page? Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, great. Cool. Okay. So I want you to start reading your sales characteristics. And it's just 2 pages long. So read that page. Again, on the computer, it'll say page 4. It's page 3 if you have a hard copy of it. And then go to page 5 and read the end of page 5. So I'll give you a minute to read that. So what do you think? Pretty fun, huh? Do you think it's pretty accurate about you? Yeah. That I was an advisor to the board of John Deere, and we had about 50 executives of John Deere in one room, and I had administered this for them. And one guy he raised his hand and he said, "This isn't me at all." And I had him read, these 2 pages, and I said, "Really? Isn't that interesting?" Then I said, "And so, what kind of behavior do you think this guy is?" So is he a DISC? He, in front of 50 other executives, he raises his hand and says, "Hey, this isn't me at all." It's a D, right? Real aggressive, out there. Yep, exactly, Michelle. Yeah, he's a D, out there. He's going to make it. He made a decision. This isn't him at all. So I said, would you mind reading out loud just the first paragraph of that, of the description of you? And he goes, "Not at all. Read it, you bet." So he reads the first paragraph. And so I asked the 49 other people in the room, and that they've all been together they've known each other for, most of them, for like 20 years, okay? And I said, what do you think about the assessment on this guy? And they all went, "That's exactly like him." And so if you read some things in there that you don't like, that this is over 93% accurate, In fact, I can tell if a respondent had lied on it. It's just an amazing tool. In fact, it's the most statistically accurate and valid diagnostic tool in the world. And so it's just an amazing tool. And so hopefully you've gotten a lot out of this, that, oh yeah, this is who I am. And I want you to love yourself as you read all this, that, yeah, this is, who I am. And you guys are responding, to me, yeah, this is absolutely, who you are. And it's just a great way to be able to kind of look at yourself in the mirror, if you will, and read this about you and just allow that and absorb this information. Now, this whole profile has some amazing information, and because of our time and everything, that we're not going to go through all the detail of that. But I do want to show you a few things that will be helpful to you. So what I'd like you to do is go down to, it's about page 30, and the reason why I say about, it all depends. You can see the things in here, time wasters for you. In fact, let me just take a minute to, it's going to show you your perceptions, the ideal environment that you want, how to motivate you, how to manage you. I mean, it's just incredible. So if you're working with other people, you can use this in order to really mesh and really get along and understand each other. That I use this, like when we hire new people into companies, that I use this for the team, that they'll read the person's profile, and it saves like 6 months of time trying to get to know someone by just looking at, this profile. And so again, keys to motivating, keys to managing, how do you like to be managed by, whether it's your customer or, someone you're working with or whatever. Time wasters with solutions, areas for improvements. Now that's a tough one sometimes, that people sometimes don't like this. Now, this area for improvement, what I'd like you to look at is, it's like a laundry list of typically areas that you would need to improve based on your specific, this is all your results, remember, it was you who inputted this. And so some of them you'll say, oh, I've done that, and you can just cross that out and disregard it. But look at some of them on areas that you may want to improve on, that you really haven't worked on, or you couldn't put your finger on. What is it that I need to improve on? This will give you it. This will be the finger, if you will, to put on, all about you. It has a great action plan that, just this assessment alone, again, it normally retails for $300, that this, but because it's free, that's why we're doing it, for you, that, but this action plan, you could use this all year long. You could review this, you could, start working your action plan, etc., and we could be done with the next 4 weeks, and you'd have really all the information you would need in order to just help you mildly. I'm just going to give you even better information, or a different information that's just as good in the weeks ahead. So it's going to be exciting, but again, an action plan that you can do for both your professional development and your personal development. Remember, Paul and I want for you guys, in order to grow in every way, we want you to have thriving lives. It's not just about the business, but the business is great to have that thriving. That always helps. And having money equals freedom, and money is good. It gives you more choices and variety and all that other good stuff. And I know some of you are just rocking now, and all of you are going to be rocking and really getting the business that you want and all the things that you want, both professionally and personally. So then I want you to go down to, keep on following me. I don't know if you can have two screens, if you have two screens or not, but I'd like you to go down to, let's see here, let's see, trying to get down to, you can see it has just all kinds of awesome information there. Now this graph, so if you'll go to your graph, and that is on page 31, it might be a different 1 or 2 pages off depending on how much verbiage we had to put in the beginning, sales characteristics for you. But the heading of it is it says Style Insights Graphs. So you're going to see two graphs there. The right graph is your natural self, and this is going to be an amazing thing that you're going to be able to see a picture of who you are. And notice there's the DISC, the driver, influencer, steady, conscientious. That the right graph is the real you. This is who you really are. The left graph is how you have decided you would modify your behavior. And so if you go down to the bottom of the graph, that you'll see percentages. And what I want you to do is look at the D on so that's the red bar, on the left side, and then look down at what the number is, and then go to the right graph and look at the red bar for the D and see what your number is. This is either how high or low you are. Now, subtract those numbers, the D from the D. So in my example, on the profile I have, this person is really, who are they? And to make sure that you're clear, see that 50% line? Whatever ones that you're above the line, this is who you are. So in this case, on what you have on the webinar right now, is this person is what? What behavior style is this person? Yeah, it's an ID, okay? Now, I want you to look at your right graph and what's above and look for the highest bar, and that's what behavior style you are. Then look for the next one, and some of you have actually 3 above the 50% line, okay? The left graph is how you modify your behavior. Now, this is causing, so in my example here, when I subtract the D from the D, it doesn't matter which way you subtract it. Just take the high number minus the low number. So in this case, this person is 20 points difference. If you are, so you can take the I minus the I, the yellow minus the yellow percent, the green, the S, the green minus the green, okay, bar, and the blue minus the blue, the C. And if those percentages, the difference of those are 10 points or more, this is causing you a lot of stress. So we all have a little stress, if you will, the contrast that happens in our life. But if you have a difference of more than 10 points in any one of these, you are modifying your behavior style for someone who you are not. You decided somewhere along the line that you needed to be a certain way or to rely on one of your strengths a certain way, or someone told you you shouldn't be that way, you know, your parents or whatever. And so you modified your behavior style. And what I want you to do is go back and start loving yourself for who you are, and that is the right graph. You will be more effective, more productive, happier, sell more, have all the things that you want when you get back to who you really are. It's back to this allowing. You're going to allow other people to be who they are, and this graph now depicts who you are and how you want to start going back. You want to be who you were born to be. The God-given birthright that God gave you on your behaviors, you want to be. So I can tell you that that most of you have some stress on you're being somebody that you really aren't. Okay, and if you have questions about this, and if you want help with this, you can just, contact me, and I'll be happy to discuss it with you. But I have the recap of each one of you, and so I'm looking at it, and for most of you, that you have some stress because you're being something different than you really are. This information should be a big aha for you, because you'll start recognizing that, oh my gosh, this is first of all who I am, and I'm going to start loving me for who I am, because whoever you are, it's just perfect for you being that way and having those behaviors. So any questions or comments before we move on there? Because again, we just have other things to review, but there's lots of information. Now, So that's the behaviors. Now, if you go down and you go down to not that next page, but the following page. I'm sorry, not that page either. This by the way, shows now the circle here that I'm on. That on page 34. That shows on like a different way to look at the graphs, and so you can see that that there's a star and a circle, and the star is how you adapt yourself. So this person is a promoter, and you can see number 14 there, and who they really are. And so they're outside of who they are. The ideal is for you to be in the same box. Okay, if you're not in the same box, that means, wow, I'm trying to be somebody who I'm not, and I'm going to get back to who I am. You'll just start flowing with life. And there is a flow to life, and that's a godly flow that you want to get into that flow, and this will help you do that. Now, the next page is we're going to talk just very briefly about the 6 motivators of mankind. But if you go to this page, so I'm on page 35, and it's a outline of your personal motivators. And so there are 6 ways that people make decisions. And you want to know this because you're dealing with people and you're dealing with them making a decision on, buying a house, selling a house, whatever, or accepting an offer. They're making decisions all the time. And if you know, like, how they make decisions, it's the key to helping them, you communicate to them based on how they make a decision. So there are 6 motivators of mankind. That the first one is utilitarian, and if you want to write down, utilitarian equals return on investment. And I will tell you that utilitarian is the number one motivation for people. So if you're not very high in motivation, so you'll have your ranking. There's your personal ranking that you're looking on your page, on page 35, okay, on your profile. And so it's like, wow, I need to recognize that people are looking for a return on investment. And what investment? Of their time, of their money, of their capacity that they have, of their resources. So most people, that is a key motivating factor for most people. The next one is theoretical. And so if you want to write down, theoretical equals knowledge. So people want knowledge. So you, being an experienced real estate agent, or becoming one and just saying to yourself, I am, that you want to make sure that you have the knowledge of the market, of the knowledge of what the customer wants, the knowledge of the neighborhood the customer is looking at, the knowledge of the neighborhood, and the information, because people are there. One of your services that you provide is knowledge. Well, guess what? People will make decisions based on knowledge. And they'll like you even more, by the way, if you can speak their language. And so most people are speaking utilitarian, return on investment, theoretical, knowledge, and the third one is social. And so write down, social equals helping other people. Now remember, this doesn't mean if you rank low in social, doesn't mean you don't care about other people. What this is looking at is the ranking on how people make decisions, and then when you're looking at yours, how you make decisions. Well, the third highest motivator is social, helping other people. So if you hear a client say to you, oh, wow, I want to make sure that I have enough room, a playroom for the children and their friends, helping other people, okay? Or they want to be in a neighborhood with lots of kids so that they can have them over. And again, social doesn't mean I'm a party animal. It means they like to help other people. So they'll maybe want to be close to a church, or their church or whatever. And so when you recognize, when they're talking, and the only way behaviors, you can see how people behave and identify it in 30 seconds. With these motivators, what you want to look for is the top 3. The other 3, individualistic, and those people want power. Okay, so you can write down individualistic, power. traditional, and traditional means kind of the what's the set way of doing things. It's the tradition. My family's always done it this way, so I'm going to do it this way. And then aesthetic, and aesthetic means form and harmony. And again, the reason why I kind of whipped through those is the three that I want you to pay attention to is utilitarian. People want a return on investment. Theoretical, they want knowledge. Or social, they want to help other people. So when and the only way to know what they value and how they make decisions and what motivates them is to talk to them. And as they're talking, you start now putting them in these slots, if you will, in these areas of, wow, are these people utilitarian? They said, hey, I don't care about, how far away the school is. What I care about is how much am I getting a house for? Wow, their return on investment. They want a return on investment. That because some people won't, want that. They'll say, hey, I'll do whatever I need to do in order to theoretical, have that they want the knowledge of how many square feet is, the home, and the only thing they're caring about is the knowledge of the home and doesn't have, nice appliances or whatever the case may be. So that's a fairly quick review on the motivators, because again, I have two other topics that I want to review. But if you go to go to page, there we go. Go to page 51 of yours, and it says Motivational Insights Graph. And what this is this is the behaviors, the 6 behaviors, and you can see there's a blue line there. And that blue line, see at the bottom it says national mean. That's where the national mean is. So you'll see I said utilitarians, number 1. See, it's the highest line, then theoretical, then social. So that's why those 3 you want to go on and realize. Now, in this example, this person is utilitarian. If you're over 50 in any of these, you think you value this so much that you don't understand why other people wouldn't value it. So you have to realize that some people, even though a lot of people value utilitarian, some people don't care. So if you're talking the language to them about, but look at the return on investment, you could say $10,000 and this and everything. And if you're not talking their language, if they don't give a hoot about return on investment, you're going to be talking and talking, and it's going to go in one ear and out the other. And you're not going to add any value and not going to help them make a decision. That's why it's so critical to understand yourself. And wow, do I either have real high values in certain values, motivators, okay, or real low ones where I'm below the mean and that I can't relate to that either. I don't understand. So if you have a real low, let's say theoretical, you may not understand people wanting a lot of knowledge about, the house, the community, whatever. And so this is a beautiful way to help you understand who you are and how you make decisions, and then how other people will make decisions. And as you listen to them, you'll be able to understand, hey, what are these other people? How are they making decisions? And that then be able to take those and talk their language. Even if, again, if you're low utilitarian, you start talking about return on investment if they do, because that's what's important to them. You have too often talked to other people about what's important to you without taking regard to what's important to other people. So, explanations of every one of these motivators are in your profile. You'll see on how it can rank it. It can just again be very helpful for you. If you have any information, any questions about it, please get back to me. You'll see like this page that I have up right now, traditional regulatory. It tells you exactly, there's the definition, the highest interest for this value called unity, order, or tradition. And so that's what they're looking at. So there it is, and then the general characteristics of each one of those. So that is all we're going to do and look at right now. Any questions about either the behaviors or the motivators and values of people and how they make decisions. You're going to be given a CD, a MP3 that I'm going to send you today, and in Success Unit 2, Understanding Yourself and Others, that'll include that. Now, let's go back to our PowerPoint, and I'm going to again switch on you here, and we're going to change topics, and so we're going to talk now your high payoff activities. And again, if you feel a little overwhelmed, like, wow, that was a lot of information. Yeah, it was. And it was a lot of great information, and it's going to help you really be able to effectively communicate and understand other people. And you're going to have your closes be easier. You're going to see your relationships are going to be deeper, more meaningful. And this is in your personal life as well as your professional life. And you'll start seeing as you become aware. So the next time that you pick up the phone, the next time that you go to a meeting, I want you to first think about what behaviors, or the next time you go have dinner with, a loved one, I want you to first think, what is their behavior style? And then modify your behavior style when you're with them. If you haven't met them before, when you meet them, within 30 seconds, be thinking about, see, your minds are going, I'm talking about 100 words per minute. Your minds are going 400 to 600 words per minute. What are you doing with the extra time? Normally, you're not even in the room. You're thinking about something else you got to do, or whatever, some problem you're working on, or whatever. And the fact is that with that extra time, you want to really get engaged with that person. The way to do that, so you can be listening to that person and identifying what behavior they are, and then also identifying how do they make decisions. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our high payoff activities. And this is something, again, I would like you to write down. That I want you to get really focused now on what are your high payoff activities. And so I'm going to recommend that they're typically, by the way, for any job, whether it's a CEO of a billion-dollar company, whether it's an entrepreneur, whether it's a individual with a small business, it doesn't matter, that there's about 3 to 5 high payoff activities. So you want to get everything really simple and really easy. And so your number one high payoff activity is to pre-pave your day, your week, your month, and your life. If you don't, someone else will. Because you're in this physical body, we have a tendency to think that we got to do. And if you have too much do, you end up getting do. Okay? So I want you to back off on thinking you always have to do something. Instead, I want you to think about all creation starts with your thought. So I'd rather have you sit back and think about what you want, how you want it to be, and then you'll be given inspired action. I don't want any of you ever to do anything that you don't like, that doesn't feel good. You don't have to do it. You can stop on what your mom and dad told you, and sometimes you got to do stuff you don't like, and all that. Just forget all that. That I want you to do what you enjoy. And as you do, as you make this turn now in your life, and each of you are making a significant turn in your life, that you're, instead of honoring the God of other people's opinion, instead of just having the same thought process and the same pipes of thought, if you will, you've paved roads leading to struggle, and that I'm helping you to now pave, and you're turning now towards your desires as you're paving these new inroads for you, these new ways of thinking about the magnificent creator that you are. And to do that, your number one high payoff activity is to pre-pave it. And so that includes the Joy Shop, to use the Joy Shop. And that I have a time management system that I have also. And if any of you are interested, you can ask me about that To have it, and it's actually a paper time management. And why paper? Because you got to write things down. Your thought creates everything, and the most effective way to focus your thought is through writing it down. That's why I had you write those things down, so you could start getting clear and focused, and you could start retaining and embracing these principles and how life works, and what an incredible person you are with your incredible behaviors, with your incredible ways that you're motivated, and with the incredible ways that you can use your thought by pre-paving. So your number one high payoff activity is to pre-pave. Your number two is to meet 5 times a week with referral partners. And we're going to talk referral partners in a minute here. But if you just have 10 ideal referral partners, that's all you ever would need in your business, and your business will explode. I just took 2 people that I personally coach with, that I've worked with, one person for 3 months. They, at most, was selling 1 home every 2 months for about $100,000 average. And this month, they did $1 million, and over $1 million. And next month, they already have booked $350,000. And so, and it's all based on these principles, on all just thinking on what you want, and that for me, helping them, to do that. I have another individual who used to just cut grass, and for 4 years was a real estate agent, and basically didn't make any money. And I told him, you'll never cut another blade of grass again in your life. And this was in the middle of the summer, and he goes, oh my God, thank you. Well, he just had over $1 million worth of business, the first time ever, $1 million in January. January is supposed to be a slow month. That there are no slow months. You create what you want to. And so this is going to help you to realize that these referral partners are one of the magic bullets that I have to offer you, a systematic system in order to start identifying ideal referral partners and meeting with them. And that you can work 4 hours a day and you can make a 6-figure income. In fact, I want you guys to think about you being 6-figure girls, 6-figure guys, that's how I want you to start having the mindset on, yeah, I love making 6 figures. And you'll get to a point, and I'm with one agent right now, where we're looking at and can realize and envision a 7-figure income. And you can do that too. You have the power. There's no circumstance you can't overcome, no condition, physical condition you can overcome. You have the power to overcome it all because you co-create with God, and you do it through first your thoughts. Then, high payoff activity number 3, meet with your prospects. So you get referrals, and then you meet with the prospects. Then number 4, meet and follow up with your prospects that are now clients. And number 5, close, and then ask for referrals. So if you write down those 5, and what I would suggest you do this week is keep track of how much time you're doing these 5 high payoff activities versus how much time you're spending, not investing, you're spending on low payoff activities. You will be amazed. Typically, I can save 30% of your time. You can gain 30% of your time just by going through this exercise. So it's incredible. Okay, the final point that I want to share with you is about referral partnerships. And referral partnerships are one of the magic bullets. And again, you've heard about, I ask for referrals, and, the number one reason I don't get referrals is because I don't ask, and all this other stuff, and it's all true. And why don't I ask? The number one reason why you don't ask for referrals is because you think you only benefit. The fact is, your referral partner, when they give you a referral, you are helping that referral partner's friends, the people they work with, maybe their clients, they maybe will get more business, and you also put them in a position to help another person, and that's you. You were born worthy. So I want you to recognize that, yes, I am born worthy, and that I am worthy to go and ask for referrals. But I'm going to make it real easy for you. And again, because some of you, or most of you, have some S in you that you feel like, well, I don't know if I want to do this, but you'll see I'm going to make it real easy. So I want you to, number 1, identify who ideal referral partner is. And so I want you to define, and this week, one of your assignments, and you can start writing it down right now because I'll kind of give you the answers, if you will, that your ideal referral partner is somebody that is well connected, somebody who likes you, who you like, who you get along well with, that that they love to give you referrals. They love to help you. Okay, and who are those people? Previous clients are great people. I just worked with one person that I just started coaching with in December, and they've taken off their business. And one of the things is we identified, give me your ideal referral partners, and he couldn't think of any. And I'm telling you, right under your nose are ideal referral partners. This person then started sharing with me, well, gee, I have this client that I saved him $20,000, and, this other client that I did good, and they just love me. I said, those become your ideal referral partners. So one of your best people that I want you to go contact this week, I want you to call, and I want you to ask them one question. Will you help me? And that you now put that person into a position to help another person, and that other person is you, and that other person feels good. Virtually all people love to help other people. And so you, by asking that question, and they're going to say yes. So it could be previous clients. It could be loan officers. It could be a bank. It could be the person that does your hair, who's well connected, okay, who's talking a lot to people, different people. That I'm telling you, they're under your nose. Look at who you write checks to. There are people, and I want you to identify at least one ideal referral partner that you go to, and in step number 2, contact them, ask them for help. And they say, sure. And you say, I'd like to meet with you, and discuss on how you could help me, and I'm so grateful and appreciate you, and that you'd be willing to help. And then you meet with them. And when you meet with them, that you share with them, that you say, hey, so the conversation will go something like this. I want to thank you so much for meeting with me and be willing to help me. That here's what I'd like to do. Is my goal, so number 1, write this down, in this discussion, my goal, you want to share your goal. And do this with a friend first. Do it with somebody, just do it as a practice, if you will. And do it with a friend, somebody that you really like. And you get along well, your best friend, whatever. And so talk to them and ask them, so here's my goal. And when you share your goal, I would suggest, it depends who you're talking to, a DISC, whatever, but a great goal is, I'd like to help 3 families every month either buy or sell their home. So that's just a real nice way of doing it. And for some of you, the 3 is a small number, which just rocks, and I love that. And so whatever number that is, I'd like to help 10 people. I have right now someone that wants to sell over 300 homes, close 300 homes this year. And that person was selling 1-2 homes a month for about $100,000 before, and now their average is up to $250,000. And so anyways, the sky's the limit. With God, you can do all things. All things are possible with God, right? So, but you want to do on whatever makes you feel comfortable. So you share your goal. I want to help 3 people. 3 families. That sounds real nice and warm. Remember, 40% of the population are S's. They'll like that. That sounds like. So I'd like to help 3 families. And then they said, well, sure, how can I help? Well, you're well connected and you're so liked in the community that what I'd like to do is I'm looking for this type of a client. And so what I want you to do is write down the definition of your ideal client. So right now, you write down, my ideal client. Who is your ideal client? So again, I'll give you the answer, but I want you to think about it too and include it in your joy shop. I want to attract my ideal client. My ideal client, that they love me and I love them. We work great together. That they're they're qualified, they're pre-qualified, they have great credit, they have plenty of money down, they act quickly, they're motivated. All of those things, right? And I just get that, that just comes to me just naturally because I know who my ideal client is and I know who your ideal client is in essence because that's what you want, right? Well, you need to ask before you can receive. So this is what you want to do is get real clear on your ideal client and then share that with your ideal referral partner. Say, yeah, I'd like to have somebody that is looking to buying or selling the home for, and maybe you want to put a price on it for, a luxury home home, or over $150,000, or over $300,000, or whatever that is, that you're looking for. And do you know any people that, or your niche, anybody that's looking in this neighborhood that you would know? And I want all of you to think about niche too, that, don't think, oh, I'm going to be missing business if I just whittle it down to a neighborhood. That you will see there's plenty of business anywhere. And the more you niche, the more specific you are on who you're going to help, the better, and the more focused your referral partner can be on giving you referrals. 1 out of every 8 people are looking to buy or sell a home. Most people know at least 150 people. So that means that anybody you talk to basically has at least 10 people that they know that's looking to buy or sell a home. And so when you're clear on, here's who I'm looking for, somebody with good credit. I know you probably don't know what their credit score is, but, hey, do these people seem like they're, living above their heads, or, not? That this is who I'm looking for, who I want. And then they say, yes, I know who, I have so-and-so. And you do not ask for their name and telephone number per se. What you want, and the key here, is you want a personal introduction. So we trust each other. We're getting to love each other, right? That we're growing, we're together, that all of us together, okay? So you trust me. And if you're looking for a good roofer, let's say, and you call me, and I know somebody that does roofing, or a real example would be a lender, an investor. And so I say, yeah, I know an investor. When that investor calls you, they already trust you. You already trust that investor, right? Because it came from me. Well, the same with this, that your selling days are over when you start using referral partners. They give you a personal introduction, which means they contact you, and that your referral partner contacts them, and they tell them, hey, I know Stacy, I know Kristen, I know Michelle, and so I know Christian, that yeah, hey, I know you, and I know of you, this really good real estate agent, and I know you were interested in buying or selling a house. Would you have an interest for me to have them call you? And if they do, they'll say, yeah. And then you get back to your referral partner and hold them accountable. So that's why every 2 weeks you'll meet with your referral partner, and that you're going to start seeing that amazing things are going to start helping you. Everything is a cooperative component from now on for you, to include people. People are cooperative components to what you want. And the fact is that as you raise up your vibration and as you get what you want, you'll start seeing all those other people getting what they want. They're going to be happy. Your referral partner is going to be happy over you gave them. And I'm going to just end with a quick little story that I was working with an executive at Chase Bank and his organization, and he was a real rough, tough guy. He was a Marine, previously a Marine, and real tough and real short. He was a DC, so just tasked, and that's it. And so I met with him, and I said, hey, I was wondering if you could help me. And he goes, yeah, maybe. And I said, well, what I'd like to do is I'd like to be introduced into other CEOs with large companies that are looking to measurably increase their results. And he goes, maybe I'll do something, for you. And I said, well, that would be great, that I'm looking for typically like mortgage companies or whatever. And so I start getting more specific, okay, like you start getting more specific on your ideal client and who that is. And he goes, oh yeah, I remember. I got Rick, and Rick is the CEO of Dime Bank, multi-billion-dollar bank. And so he says, here's his name and telephone number. And I turned to Jack and I said, Jack, I don't want Rick's name and phone number. What I want you to give me a personal introduction. Would you call him and let me know that I'm calling? Jack says, sure. So I said, Jack, when should I call you back to know that you called him? And he wants to speak to me. And he says, call me at 1600 hours on Friday. That's military term for 4 o'clock. So he's a real rough, tough guy. So 1600 on the dot on Friday, I call Jack and say, hey, Jack, how are you? Were you able to talk to Rich? Yeah, his name was Rich. And he said, yeah, I was, and you could call him, and, he's interested. And I said, okay, thanks a lot. Yeah, yeah, and it slams the phone down. So I call Rich. And, well, this guy's the CEO of a billion-dollar company. Everybody wants to talk to him. In fact, when I call, the gatekeeper is there. And I said, hi, I'd like to talk to Rich. And she goes, so does everybody else in the world. I said, no, really. I want to talk to Rich, that he knows he's expecting my call. She goes, no, you can't. He's too busy, and he's not here, and, whatever. And I said, no, this is Dr. Hank, and I know that, you're protecting him from, having a bunch of calls inundated with calls, but that he is expecting my call, and he will be much happier with you if you put me through versus if you, don't put me through, and he is expecting my call. And she goes, just wait. So I wait about a minute, and she gets back on the phone. She goes, oh, Dr. Hank, I'll put you right through. She puts me right through. And Rich picks the phone up, and he goes, Dr. Hank, how are you? Hey, listen. Now, remember, I've never talked to this guy. Okay? Hey, listen, I wanted to tell you that. I got this opportunity in New York, got this opportunity in Milwaukee. Where do you want to start? I didn't have to sell. I didn't have to do any of that, okay? He knew that I could guarantee measurable results, and he trusted Jack, and thus I had my first $1 million sale. And by the way, I picked Milwaukee because I'm originally from Motivators, a suburb of Milwaukee, and so I would be with family too. Like, everything's just great. And that's how wonderful this is going to be for you, that you're going to start seeing, you're going to get these wonderful referrals into all your ideal clients. So we're out of time. That's all we have. What I'd like you to do is review your profile, identify your referral partner, your ideal referral partner, your ideal client, write out a definition of that, and then I want you to meet with at least one, contact and then meet with at least one referral partner this week. They're right under your noses. They're friends with you. You like them. They like you. And you will be amazed at how people, when you ask them to help you, that they will help you. And then I'll send you Success Unit 2, and that's the CD or the MP3. And so I look forward to talking with you next week then, and that'll be on next Wednesday, February 5th, 10:30 to 12. And any questions or comments before we leave? All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. You guys rock. Enjoy your week. Do your joy shot. Thank you. And then, let's see.